Welcome to our Women in STEM Roundtable discussion, where we've gathered 5 friends who've all started their careers together back in 2008. Since that first role, we have all acquired new skills and diversified our career path in STEM. Today, we want to share our insight on our personal journeys along our challenges and triumphs, and hopefully to inspire the next generation of women in STEM.
I think what initially inspired me was when I started secondary school, my favourite subject was science. It was actually probably the only subject that I found interesting. So even from first year on, I knew that I would study science in some capacity at third level.
Yeah, I think I was the same. I mean, you're so young at that age, but I found that I was interested in science, particularly chemistry, and I was actually good at it. So I was just interested in how things were created, and I hoped maybe one day I'd create or discover something new. Yeah.
Just to give a balance on that, I was, as a child, like in school, I wasn't drawn to science as such. I didn't know what I wanted to do. It wasn't until I just happened to pick chemistry for my degree, but I ended up loving it. But it's not always, you know, at the start of your Leaving Cert to know what you want to do. It's amazing if you do, but it's not always the case.
Yeah.
But it's good. It's a good fallback if you're not sure.
How did you end up choosing?
I did chemistry. I did do chemistry,
Okay.
but I didn't do an amazing chemistry Leaving Cert.
For my Leaving Cert, I did physics and biology. I didn't do chemistry.
Yeah, but
I went to general science for the first year, and I loved chemistry so much. I only had, a few months of it in college, and then I was like, oh, I want to pursue a chemistry degree. So now I have a chemistry degree, and I never did it in Leaving Cert.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't do it in Leaving Cert either.
Did you not? Wow.
Yeah.
The women that surround me here, my friends, I suppose, I kind of use your experiences as well, and I bounce ideas off you. So I think you have been my original mentors throughout my career. And then also in the university, I've taken courses in coaching and also want to become a coach for people who I will mentor. So I think it is very important. And you were saying earlier that
there's kind of like 3 phases of mentorship: the one you gain, the one you give, and the one you're in. So that you gain mentorship from somebody that you look up to. So that could be someone individual, or it can be a group. Like I'm in the Network Galway group, and they're amazing to lean on and get advice from. And it mightn't even be STEM, but it's just females in the work environment, and also then the people that you are with. So you guys obviously are the people that I'm on this journey with.
For me, it was going back and completing my Master's in Industrial Pharmaceutical Science. This Master's allows you to work as a qualified person. And I think in all the roles that I've worked with in the pharmaceutical industry since 2005, the qualified person role is definitely the one I find the most interesting. So I'm really glad I went back and did that Master's.
Yeah, brilliant. I think for me, it was probably actually applying for a commercial position within my company. I had no previous commercial experience, but I had worked as an aerosol scientist on the Aerogen device for years before that. So I went for the job, and luckily they took a chance on me because of my knowledge of the device and gave me a chance to prove myself. And I think I did, so I'm still in the job.
Yeah.
And Louise, you moved from research into that commercial role. So the technical knowledge that you gained through that role allowed you to really hit the ground running then in that commercial role.
Absolutely, because part of my job, I'm in hospitals and I'm talking to clinicians, healthcare professionals all the time, updating them on training, and if they have any questions of how the device works. I actually have published papers and data there to talk about it as well, and my knowledge on it is second to none. So it just fitted perfectly.
Yeah, that's great.
You're a credible person to sell it then, it's not like you're just a salesperson.
I'm not just a salesperson.
You believe in the product.
Yeah, exactly.
Diversity drives innovation. A diverse team is always better. There's endless data to show that a diverse team fosters more innovation, more creativity. And also the opportunities would be lots of workplace cultures now promote STEM. So there's a lot more opportunities for women to progress through the leadership levels.
Yeah. I believe though the opportunities are well matched with the challenges. Like we're not in a perfect place. So there's a lot of unconscious bias.
Yeah.
And I think that starts actually at a very young age, the bias. So we all have kids. I have 3 girls, and you know, you can see the presence when they're 3, 4, they get a kitchen, they might get an iron. And the boys, that I don't have any, but I've seen, they'll get like a microscope, or they'll get, you know, a rocket ship. So at a very young age, they're fostering these links with where you're meant to go in life. So I think it starts at a very young age, and it's very difficult. We think we can change it at home, but once they get into the education and school, it's all what their friends are doing.
Awesome. Yeah.
Like, you know, it's what they're doing. So it's a big challenge across every board, I think.
But I think if you can encourage people from a young age,
Yeah.
you know, buy scientific toys for girls, or like even nurture a love of nature, and that will kind of encourage a love of science as well. So
Yeah.
I think you can start them young, and the workplace can also mould a better environment for women as well.
Also by them seeing you. So even if you're their aunt or you're their friend's mum or whatever it is, that they see, oh, she works in whatever scientific field, you know, that it's they're seeing it and it's not just a hearsay.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think this all happened because we had a discussion about how many lost innovations happened because of women not being able to work. And the marriage bar, which was as soon as you were female and got married, you had to quit your job.
Yeah.
So imagine then, and that only got lifted in 1977, which is horrendous, but thankfully it was lifted, or none of us would be married. But you know, that it's...
When I think about challenges and setbacks, the first kind of 3 things that come to mind would be compassion for myself, curiosity, you know, why, like ask questions why that happened, or what could I learn from it. And then the end result for me with challenges or setbacks is always resilience. Whether it be your personal life or work, it will always help build your resilience, which will make you a stronger person in your role.
Yeah, I would agree, and I'd say that challenges are just learning opportunities, and I also think that they're good as examples for interview questions as well.
Yeah, you learn probably more from your mistakes than you do from your triumphs, really, don't you?
Exactly.
I think from a very practical standpoint, there are a lot of jobs in STEM at the minute, and they're well paid with good benefits.
Yeah.
Aside from that, I think what women bring to STEM, I think we're very good problem solvers. We'll always come up with innovative solutions to problems.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And I think the fact that there's jobs out there and they're not being filled means that when you come out of college that you're not scrounging for a job, you know, that there's jobs available, and that's
you pick where you want to go, what you want to do. You're not...
And there's opportunity to grow and diversify what you're doing as well. So I think that we are a perfect example of that diversification of STEM, that you don't, just because you did chemistry, then you don't have to end up in a lab. You can, but you don't have to.
Or you don't have to stay in a lab.
Yeah.
And even though now you pick where we want to go, that was still the case when I came out of my master's and joined and met you all in Aerogen. I got to choose whether I wanted to go to Galway, whether I wanted to go to Westport to work. That opportunity, even through the recession, was there for me.
Yeah.
I think that you should create a dream board or an avatar of what you want your job to be, and then take steps towards creating that job for yourself. So I knew I wanted to pursue a career in clinical research after my neuroscience master's, and so I wrote down where I would like to work, the type of role I'd like to do, the flexibility I'd like to have, and I went and did a master's in clinical research, and also got involved in parts of clinical research through work. Like I kind of did extracurricular activities in work to kind of drive towards that.
Yeah.
So I think of what you would like your job to be like and create that vision, and then take steps towards it.
That's really good, yeah. What about the people that don't know what they want to do? Is it more trial and error? I think so.
It's definitely trial and
error. You've got to switch it up, and don't stay in a job that you're not happy with.
Yes.
Because there are other jobs, and people fall into that trap of, oh, I'll just stick it out. You know, life is short, and your career should be part of your life, but it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. So work your way through it.
Going to work.
You should like going to work.
Yeah.
I think that's what we can all say here, is that we enjoy work,
And there's
of course,
so many exciting jobs in STEM.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah.
there's so many different opportunities.
But as a 17-year-old doing your Leaving Cert, it's so hard to get into your head what those roles mean. What does this company mean, that company mean? So really go out of your comfort zone as a 17-year-old and say, can I just talk to you about your job? What is it? What does it mean? How did you get there?
And that's true for every stage of your career. You don't have to be deciding what you're going to do in college to actually job shadow somebody and see what their role is like.
try
you
it.
can do that. You know, you can talk to people. Like, we talk to each other about different jobs that we've had, and you can take some of that to build what your dream job would be. Be like, oh, I'd like a bit of that role, and I'd like to be involved with people or whatever, you know.
And if you don't know what you want to do, you can literally try everything until you find it. I mean, I worked in a few companies now. I'm in my current company 9 years, but I was chopping and changing, and not that I didn't really like anything, but I wasn't 100% happy. So, you just have to keep trying until you find something.
Yeah, you learn,
And also,
learn from everything you work on.
not to worry about how well you do in your Leaving Cert.
Definitely.
I know I wasn't overly happy with my Leaving Cert results, but I progressed then in my degree, and that's where I kind of found my groove and liked what I was doing in chemistry. But I never thought I would run my own company. That was never. I never even thought that was a possibility. And here I am, and it's a dream come true really now. That a dream I didn't even know I had.
And doing different jobs that you love as well, you'll find roles that you shine in.
Yeah, you can eliminate what
passionate
you're not.
about it, it brings,
And also the companies are very important. That mix, you'll find the right fit for you. You know, but it'll only happen with you trying, like, and pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. Do not stay somewhere that you're not happy. Do not.
I mean, I'm in a commercial role now. It involves a lot of presentations, a lot of standing up in front of people talking. If you told me even 10 years ago that I would be doing that, I would be the last person on this earth that would be standing in front of people talking. So you just don't know what's for you.
Yeah.
I think, my workplace is very flexible, and I think that flexibility, it brings in, I'm willing to work outside hours if they're willing to let me have the time that I need with my family. And again, back to being an inspiration to your daughter growing up, I think that's what helps me, motivates me to work full time as well, is because I know I'm following my dream and that I'm inspiring her to follow hers, and hopefully it'll be in science as well.
Yeah, no pressure.
And Jackie, for yourself, do you have your own company? How do you balance everything?
I mean, there is no perfect work-life balance, and I think that's probably something that we need to talk about, and that it kind of has this idealistic, work-life balance, it means you have no spare time, basically. So as you said, you might get up earlier to do a call so that you can drop your kids to school, whatever it is. So it takes a lot to acquire that work-life balance, but it's worth it because you get the best of both. You just might not get a lot of sleep or rest. But if you're motivated by and passionate about your career, then I think you can balance both. But as a CEO, I suppose I've only got 2 employees, but it's to show them as well, the next generation or the younger generation coming up, that it's okay to, if something happens at home, that you need to go home and tend to your children, and if you need to have a flexible work hours. I think that's really important to showcase as well.
Yeah, I find it quite difficult because in my job I have to drive a lot. So before I had kids, it was okay, because if I had to go from Donegal to Cork or vice versa, I could stay in a hotel. But I have to come home now, and I have 2 kids, and I have to pick them up, and I have to feed them, and I have to hit the road really early in the morning again to make sure I'm back to pick them up. So you do find yourself working crazy hours, but it is worth it. It's completely different when you have a full-time job and kids, but you make it work.
You find balance.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, there's a few things, isn't there? There's definitely allowing men more paternity leave, and maybe maternity leave additionally to women, and them actually availing of it. Like, I think a lot of men
Using it.
don't take it.
So paid leave.
Yeah.
And, I think it'd be amazing to have paid leave for the man and for the woman, not to take one from the other, but they both should have equal leave because both of them created the child. Yes, the mother has to recover, but the man, I don't know why men aren't protesting to have
But do you think they would
more
take it?
leave if it was paid.
I'm not sure because of the progression in their careers. They would see it as, oh, we're going to miss out on a project. I'm not sure men would take it, and I think that's where the change in mindset needs to happen.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that stops women progressing in STEM, because you kind of make a decision, like, well, whether you're going to or not. It's out of our hands, you know, who carries the baby. So you have to kind of, it should be equal for both, but like that decision is taken out of our hands already.
Flexibility in the workplace.
Yeah, I think if companies...
Opportunities for part-time work, like proper part-time work where you do a 3-day week and you don't fit a 5-day into a 3-day.
Yeah, if companies made part-time more the norm rather than make an exception for somebody because they have children.
Yeah, and I think flexible starting times and finishing times to facilitate picking up your kids if you go in early or in late, and you know, because ultimately the work will be done. And even you were talking about maternity pay or paternity pay, all companies don't pay maternity pay.
Yeah.
You know, that's amazing.
No, we have a long way to go.
Yeah.
Or shared shift work as well. You know, if you're working, you know, if you're doing part-time, that you can job share. So that's the same.
But I do think that we've seen a shift since COVID with the hybrid working
100%.
and that we've allowed an insight to our family lives more so with COVID.
Yeah, and in our own company, only this morning, I was giving the new guiding principles of our department, and it focused all about what's called the new way of working, which before COVID was just non-existent, you know, basically hybrid working, and to respect each other's preferred mode of working. Yes, there are times where we need to be in and our managers ask us to be on site, but to respect hybrid working, which is a huge leap from before COVID where we were.
Yeah.
I think for me, it would be being officially named as an inventor on 3 separate US patents, which have all been approved for an aerosol drug delivery device system and method. And it's actually going through clinical trials at the minute. So hopefully it will be on patients in the next few years.
That's amazing. Incredible. That's incredible.
That's brilliant.
For me, I think I look back at the last 15 or so years of working and things that come to mind are I lived in California for 12 months. We had a product transfer and then we moved it back to Galway. That was an incredible experience. I worked on first-in-human trials from California. We developed the product and then they were implanted in humans in cases in Australia. So I got to see the whole process and then go to those cases in Australia. And then we brought the product back to Ireland. In my current job, I support cases on a technical level. So we help with physician education. So I'm traveling a bit across Europe. Like in September, I'm in Lisbon and Stockholm at different physician education events.
That's amazing.
It's amazing. Wow.
And for me, it's definitely just that I have my own company, which I still feel nearly uncomfortable saying, which I shouldn't, but I do have a company. And for me, it's the business side of it. Even though my background is science, I have to learn all this about investment and business and networking and all that, which I thoroughly enjoy. But yeah, it's amazing how much your brain can expand and how much you can do. And I've won a couple of awards, innovation awards, Women in Business awards, which is a great accolade.
That's fantastic, Jack.
For me, I think, I won an innovation award when I was working in Boston Scientific, and I think that kind of propelled me because I had to give presentations to leadership and I had to do a lot of things, again, like business plans and stuff like that that were outside of my comfort zone. But it's only by stepping outside your comfort zone that you grow.
Totally.
So I do think that, that was a big accelerator. But also I did the clinical research masters, and that obviously helps a lot with my current role as senior coordinator in the core lab. But yeah, I love clinical research, and I think as long as you follow what you're passionate about, I think, and as long as you're curious, you won't go wrong.
Thank you for joining us today to showcase some fantastic examples of women in STEM. Remember, women bring another diverse perspective that can foster creativity and innovation in STEM. Diverse teams solve problems more effectively, and women provide valuable contributions to the advancements of STEM.